Looking for new books for your kids to read? Well, I'm going to share my top favorite books in a series. This is good because after they read one book, then there's the next one and the next one, and it's all in a series. You don't have to think about what's the next book that I could get for my kids. It's just right there for you. Stay tuned. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back, guys. This is Niki with That Homeschool Live. I'm a homeschool mom of 3 living just outside of Los Angeles. And if you're new to this channel, thank you for stopping by. This channel is all about homeschooling, motherhood, day in the life product. Okay, guys, I'm filming this during my kids' lunch and recess break, so it's going to be a lot of noise. So I'm just going to get right into it. Forget the intro. Okay, book series. Why I love book series? Because when the book is not a series, after your child is done reading the book, it's like, what am I going to read now? And go to the library or the bookstore or Amazon to order something, or ask your friends if they have any books for you. So I love series because if they're engaged with the series, then after that book, they just go on to the next one and the next one and the next one, rinse and repeat, and there's nothing you need to do. It's autopilot. So I'm going to share with you my favorite books in the series. Now, what I define as favorite is my kids come up to me and say, Mom, are there any more books like this? Why, of course. There are like 50 more books. Geronimo Stilton and Magic Treehouse. Or if they're so into it, they ask, Mom, can I have the audiobook for that? And not all the series has an audiobook, but most of the series, they do put out an audiobook. So that's just another way to reinforce the book and their listening skills. And if they're having quiet time, if they're doing a game or whatever, they can also listen to the book, or you can listen to the book in the car. So all that said, let's get right into it. So I'm going to start with my current 2nd grader. He is 8 years old. Now, don't worry about the grade levels, the age levels. Some kids read way above grade levels, some below. Some, like I have a 6th grader, he'll still read some old books from like 2nd or 3rd grade just because, he's older, he has more experience, and he looks through it and he's like, oh my God, this is so dumb. Oh, I can't believe they did this. If your kid wants to read it, let them read it. That's my motto. Of course, everyone knows all about Harry Potter. We have a couple different types of books. So the versions are obviously the same, but you have, this is, I think, your regular one, okay? So it's, your regular big old telephone size style book with no pictures, just all reading. Yeah, well, for my middle child, that don't work. He's very visual. So I found these at Barnes & Noble's years ago. And these, I think these were like $20-something. It was a little pricey. I don't mind spending money on books. I'll spend money on books before I spend it on anything else. But very colorful throughout every page. Has color or a picture. My son loved this. So when he got through it, he was like, oh, and it's got a built-in bookmark. So when he was done reading, because he didn't think he was going to be able to read a big, thick book like this. Okay, I have 2 different books in my hand, but you guys get the point. Okay. I said, yeah, baby, you read something this size. This one is bigger and wider, so it was more manageable to him. But I got to tell you, this version, it just says illustrated by Jim K. Y'all know this is by J.K. Rowling, or Rowling. But this is the business. Now, when I first bought this, it had just come out. They didn't have all the books out, but now they do. See, look at that. Look at all the color. That's why it's so expensive, because you got so many pictures. And you probably can't tell, but every page has some kind of background to it. So, maybe that might be too much distraction for a lot of kids, but there you go. So those are our favorite book series for all my kids. And I really shouldn't say grade levels or ages, because I started buying these books when they were like in preschool, and they're timeless. They go back. My oldest children go back to the younger books, and my younger son will peek and look at, the older books. So just get the books for your own personal library. And the reason why I advocate for you to buy them is because The library is great, but in a series, sometimes you start forgetting, life happens, and the next thing you know, your library fine is like $40. So we don't want that. So my second grader is really into these books. Let me see how I want to do this. I might just move this over here, guys. I'm in my junky, messy homeschool room. Let me see if you can see this. Can you see this? Can you see this? All right, I'm about to rig it. I'm tilting the tripod. Okay, so these are I just pulled out 3 series because we have a lot more, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys. So let me just take this off, y'all. I'm trying to be a cinematographer, and that's not what I am. Okay, I'm going to flip this phone. Okay, so my 3 favorites for my second grader are the Weird School series by Guttman. Oh my God, they love this one. The Who Would Win series by Jerry Pallotta. And of course, the Magic Treehouse by Mary Pope Osborne. So what I like about these series, and I'll just go through each one really quickly. Well, number one, especially if you have boys, cool for girls, but this is definitely a boys book. You know, they're talking about burps, farts, things like that. But they're easy chapter books. The graphics are pretty cool. They average about 1 page of, I can't turn it. 1 page of pictures per chapter. Sometimes you might get a 2-page spread, but I'm trying to show it to you. And this page is not cooperating. Oh, look, it's making a liar out of me. Okay, so that's what some of the graphics look like. Very easy read. And this series, what it's based on is basically AJ is at this school, and every teacher and staff member is weird. And if you're a fan of the series, you'll notice that the titles all rhyme, and they're pretty hilarious. Now, there are three series within this book series. The first one is My Weird School. My Weird School. That's the first series. And then the second series, I think he might be in second grade here. And then the next series is My Weirder School. And then the third series, I believe, is My Weird School Days. It should be My Weirder School, but I think that might be it. I'm not sure. But, so look at the titles. Mr. Klutz is nuts. Mr. Sunny is funny. Mrs. Dole is out of control. So basically all the grown-ups in these books are crazy. Like, they don't know how to teach math or reading, writing. You know, it's a funny book. So the kids get to laugh at the teachers for basically being dumb. Or just don't have it together. Also, Who Would Win? All of my boys like this. They still read this to this day. This has been a perennial favorite. And Jerry Pallotta, he also does math books, like fractions, like chocolate, Hershey kisses and fractions. Now, the book Who Would Win compares 2 animals, and they give you facts on the animals, and they compare the animals, and they try to determine who would win in the battle. So you would find out, okay, based on size, where they live,
ooh, doggy,
their eyes, like this one has eyes the shape of a,
like.
yeah. This one has the size of the shape of a basketball. This one with a dinner plate. So who would win, you know, with the eyes. So it goes on. It compares each part of the animal's anatomy and their characteristics. And then at the end, they give like a little story, like a battle. So the last couple of pages, they give you a battle. And they give you some facts on like books, whatever information. They'll give you more information. And then they give you the battle. And at the end, you have a checklist to see who won in each category. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty fun book. Then I found these cards, Who Would Win cards, and I forget if they were a game, because eventually my kids just started playing memory with these. So there are 2 cards. There are 2 cards of each animal, so you could do memory with this, and it just gives you just the characteristics of the animal. So my kids like this. It helps them learn more about the animals and works on their memory skills. So that is fun. And then for my second grader, the Magic Treehouse book. Now, some of you don't know that with the Magic Treehouse books, a lot of the books come with fact trackers. So it's a book that's full of facts about what you were reading in the book. So high tide in Hawaii, there was a tsunami that hit, and some I think, was there another natural disaster? I'm not sure, but the fact tracker will give you information, more factual information about the book that you just read, the Magic Treehouse book. Very colorful, lots of pictures, and it's supposed to be all fact-based. So if you look at the back here, track the facts with Jack and Annie. What causes tsunamis? Who studies earthquakes? How do volcanoes form? So you get the point here. We love this series. And then, your Magic Treehouse, your easy chapter book is usually almost always 1 or 2 pictures, 1 or 2 page spreads per chapter. And you can see it's pretty easy to get through. The chapters are like 8 pages, 7 pages long. Okay, so I brought down some, but there are like almost 60 books in the Magic Treehouse series, and that's including the Merlin missions and all the other parts. The Who Would Win, I believe there are 12 books in the series, I think. And for the Weird School, that's just the first series, which is just the Weird School. I don't know how many there are. Okay, the next book in the series, this is for my 10-year-old, my 4th grader. His ultimate favorite book is Plants vs. Zombies by Paul Tubin. And then back when he was in 3rd grade, he really was rocking with Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which is obviously really popular and famous. And then he just recently, maybe a couple months ago, got into the Zombie Chasers. You see a theme here? Plant vs. Zombies. Oh, Diary of a Wimpy Kid is by Jeff Kinney. The Zombie Chasers is by John Clofer, whatever.
Wait, Clover.
Oh, thank you. So, if you haven't seen Plant vs. Zombies, it's a graphic novel. Pretty cool. I'm not gonna spend too much time on that.
And also,
Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Most people know about this book. They've seen the movie. It's about a kid who's like, the book is written in diary form. Lots of pictures. Pretty engaging. That's Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And then Zombie Chasers, it's just it's just another zombie book, but this time it's with kids trying to escape zombies. I'm trying to let you read the back of the book. There are, how many books are in this series? I believe there are 7 books in this series. I have them here. Yeah, I think there are 7 books in the Zombie Chasers series. And the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I tried to bring all of them downstairs, but I couldn't. I think there might be 12 or so in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. There are more. They're upstairs. Plant vs. Zombies. I think there are 10 or 12. Plant vs. Zombies. 10 or 12. The plants fight the zombies for world domination. Also, for my 4th grader, he is really into Geronimo Stilton. I love these books. I think he started reading these when he was in 2nd grade. I love these books. They're great chapter books because they're white. The pages are white with lots of color in the print, which I love. And the pictures are very colorful. I'm sorry, I like color. I love color. And I like how they bold the words, some of the words throughout the book. Look at that. So this is really fun. So instead of the dreary brownish taupe looking book pages, I like white. It's a nice contrast, and the book is pretty funny. It's pretty funny. There are like 70 plus books in this series, and audiobooks. And what I like about the audiobooks, they'll bunch up 2 to 3 or 4 books on an audio. So like for 10 or 12 bucks, you get a lot. Oh, here's one right here. You get this one. Well, this is one book where it's only one book, but most of the books are like 2 or 3 books on a CD. So Geronimo Stilton, audiobooks. Magic Treehouse has audiobooks. This one does not have audiobooks, but you can find people reading them on YouTube. Zombie Chasers, I haven't even checked for that one. Does Diary of a Wimpy Kid, is that on audiobook? Do you know? They just watched the movie, so I didn't have to worry about buying that. Okay, so moving on. I hope my audio sounds fine because I'm holding this mic. So my 6th grader, so this is what he read when he was in 5th grade. He read Spirit Animals. This is the first book in the series. I think there were 8. Don't quote me on that. I think there were 8 books in that series. And then after that series, the sequel is Fall of the Beast. And I think there are 6 or 7 books in that series. But there's definitely more than 6. So you got time to, you can milk that series. Those are his books. And so what Spirit Animals is about, it's 4 kids. And it kind of talks about each kid's life, where they're coming from, and then how they turn into their spirit animal and attack the evil on the planet. No pictures in here, but that's to be expected for that age group. But this is a very popular series, and for your kids who are really who are very imaginative, very into fantasy, this is a really great series. I'm sure it would be a movie soon if it's not already. So Spirit Animals, lots of books in that series, to extend the reading. Also, for my 6th grader, now he read these in 5th grade, the series of unfortunate events. I don't know if these are on audiobook. I need to check, but my oldest one, he didn't really care about audiobooks. He would just snuggle up with the book, so I didn't have to worry about that.
The series of unfortunate events is on audio.
Yes, so we have audios. They're hella expensive though. Excuse me, very expensive though. So a series of unfortunate events. So if you buy on Amazon, you'll get 2 kinds of books. So decide what version you want. So the initial ones that I got, initial one, it has pictures. I'm sorry, this version, it has some pictures, but this is what one version looks like of the book, Lemony Snicket. And then there's another version that looks quite different. If you look, you can see how. Well, let me move it to the side. You can see. So they have 2 different versions. I mean, the books are the same, but one's a paperback, one's hardback, and it just depends on how your child likes to hold the book in their hand. You can see the typesetting here is a lot tighter. You have wider margins here, so that may or may not bother your child. Here is more conversational. It's more relaxed, and you do have some pictures. So if you're on Amazon or eBay, but definitely on Amazon, this version is more friendly. It has pictures, and the typesetting is a lot more easy on the eyes. And that's Lemony Snicket. There are 13 books in that series. Of course, there are movies, and there is a series on Netflix, I think, which is pretty cool. My boys love that. City of Ember, my son read in the 5th grade. This is a really popular series. It's about kids on the planet, and the planet is about to lose all its energy, and they have these jobs that they're stuck with, depending on, they have to draw numbers or something to figure out what kind of job they're going to have for the rest of their life. It's kind of like a dystopian, type literature. Put it here so you can see. So I think this is book 1. So the light bulb, the skull. So a lot of Jean Duprat. And so basically these kids have to kind of save the world, basically, because the world is going crazy and they're losing electricity. I'll just show you what the first book is. So the City of Ember was built as a last refuge for the human race. 200 years later, supplies. I'll just let you guys read that. Ember is the only light in a dark world, but now its lamps are beginning to flicker. This was a very popular book in 5th grade when my kids were in a charter school. Everyone loved that book, the whole series. So, okay, and finally for my young readers, we didn't forget about you. I have these books. I think there are 12 in the series, and let me double check. These books, I've used these books as mentor texts because they're that great. It's a very great series. As a matter of fact, 2 very reputable organizations that review books, Booklist and School Library Journal, they have given it very great reviews. So, basically, Mr. Putter and Tabby by Cynthia Relant and Arthur Howard. Basically, it's about an old man who's getting into things. That's all it is, with his cat, Tabby. So it's very colorful, very colorful. Each page has no more than 1 to 3 sentences. So this is great for your emerging readers. And as a mentor text, depending on the book that you grab, you can, because this book is very formulaic, you can really, the child or you can really point out certain key concepts in the book, what's going on. So these are all the books in the series. That's how much I love these books. Like Baking the Cake, when you're teaching informational writing, how to write in a series sequence, like first, then. This book was great for that. Because Lord knows he was struggling with his steps. Oh, you can't see it. I passed it. All right, so this book worked really well as a mentor text. I think I used the turn the page. No, I think it was another one. He was learning how, he was trying to write a story, a book, and he was just procrastinating. And anyway, when I start a writing unit, I always talk about what an author does and what does that look like. And I talk about the procrastination part and trying to get your ideas on paper. And in one of these books, he illustrates that perfectly. And so the kids are able to see what that looks like. You know, you're showing them versus telling them. I'm trying to find that book, but you know what? I might just do a review on that to show you how I teach when I do the 6 traits of writing. That's one of the books that I use. But what I like about this book series for your younger readers, certain things matter, and repetition is great. So every title starts with a verb and ends with a noun. Those are just little things that just matter. So when you're teaching grammar, you know, you can show the pattern and they'll see it. So you can just point that out. When you're doing book study, like when you're setting the cover of a book. Okay, I'm getting these series. If you can, please invest in them. eBay is your friend. I buy a lot of books where you can get 2 or 3 for a discounted price. The library sales, you can get a lot of books there. I actually do just buy a lot of books off of Amazon. But over the years, I've just bought from different places. Or my sister who has older children, she's gifted me books. But this is a really great series for the youngins, and you have a lot of them to work with. I think I covered most of the books. We have so many more, but those are the ones that the kids always love. Oh, I think that covers everything. Thank you so much for staying and watching. My question of the day is, what is your child's favorite book series? Share it down below. This is a subject where everyone could learn something, and maybe you were considering a book, but now that you heard about it, you might say, oh, okay, well, so-and-so liked it for these reasons, so let me go try it out. So definitely try that out. And for those of you who your child might be a reluctant reader, sit down with your babies and read to them. Okay, read aloud. I still read to my oldest one, with my 12-year-old. Now our stuff is really just the history, because I always have to interpret things, and then we just start talking, and he asks questions, and we start making comments about things. So we mainly just do that with history texts and things that don't come from the classroom, just books from my own personal library. So that's a lot of controversial stuff, so we have to have those conversations. But definitely read aloud to your child, okay? So he can do the first chapter, you can do the next chapter, he can do one page, you can do the next page, or he can do the first paragraph, you can do the last paragraph. Just mix it up. Just read together, or at least let them read. If anything, have books around the house. So that's my spiel. All right, that's it. This is Niki with That Homeschool Live. If you have not subscribed, you better hit that subscribe button and then click that little notification bell so you will know every time I upload a video. You won't miss anything, y'all, because I've been doing weekly for 2 weeks now. I know, I'm baby steps, but I'm getting there. So I just wanted to pop in here. I know it was crazy with the kids running in and out, but honey, you got to do what you got to do. And that's part of trying to keep things going. You just have to keep going when things aren't perfect, okay? So for all you YouTubers out there that, don't wait until the house is perfect and the kids are asleep or whatever, just let us see how your life is, okay? We will understand. So with all that said, thank you guys. Bye-bye, and I'll see you on the next share next week. Bye. And yes, that's Skelly in the back. He just likes to hang out. Today he's rocking a Michael Jackson fake fedora. Usually, you know, he'll have on like a wig or it's a little fitted, little Dodgers fitted. I gotta give him a Rockets hat though, because I gotta rep Rockets. I'm the only Houston fan in this house. So anyway, all right guys, peace out, bye.